basically, this is where we're going to start things. I think it's eventually going to turn into a podcast eventually. But we've got myself, Tony Cunningham, coach at Millennium Martial Arts, with McKenna Wade and Levi Thompson, who just recently fought at the weekend on Muay Thai Grand Prix. It's not an interview, this, right? So I want you just to chill. It's just an informal chat, talking about like yous and how you're fighting, about fighting, how you deal with wins, losses, where you want to go in the sport and things like that. So we just want to get to know you a little bit more. We'll do these regular chats just to engage with your fans and things like that, because they see you fighting, but they probably don't get to hear you talk too much. Okay, so first of all, McKenna fought Muay Thai Grand Prix. Let me know how you got on.
So I lost on decision. The girl was very good. To be fair, like when I was in there, I enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's about going in there, having the experience.
You look like you were enjoying it, and I think the first round was like a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Like you struggle with range and things like that, but I was in your corner, so in the third, like between the second and third round, it's probably the best attitude I've seen from a fighter before. I mean, Levi, you were on the corner as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
And when he said to us, like, just tell us when it's the last minute, I'm gonna try and knock her out.
Yeah.
I think that you knew fine well that you are like getting outscored, and the range, she was long, wasn't she? She was tall. She was strong as well. I mean, when at the weigh-in, I was like, I didn't want to say now, but she would look like a bodybuilder, didn't she? She was solid. I was like, look, and we're up against it here. Let's not forget how long you took the fight on. How many days?
Like 2 weeks now.
It was about 4 or 5 days, something like that. But like just to take that opportunity and to go for it the way you did, like, it was class. So, but how did you feel in the third? Because it was a 3-round fight. Most Thai boxing fights are 5, aren't they?
Yeah.
This was a 3-round fight. How did you feel about?
Do you know, I could have went another 2 rounds.
Yeah.
My fitness was there. Third round, I knew I had to put the pressure on her a bit. We had to try and knock her out, basically.
Yeah.
But, I felt amazing in that third round. Like I say, I could do another 2 rounds there.
I think she started to feel the shots a little bit more as well, didn't she, in the third? So, like, how do you, like, so this is not just for us chatting as well, is it? Because he's very inspirational towards, like, around your coaches in the gym, yeah? So we've got a full junior team that look up to you a lot. Now, you didn't win on Saturday. How do you deal with your losses? How do you feel afterwards?
It's devastated, like, but do you know, I learned though, like, when I got back home and watched the fight, I was like, right, next fight, we're going to put it right. So obviously Monday I was back in the gym, sorting things that I had to put right, and then obviously when we go again, I'll be ready.
Good, because I think it's how you deal with like losses. I mean, it's nice winning, but sometimes like you don't. You do learn from your wins, of course you do, because it's a formula to win. But losing corrects your mistakes as well, and like it eats at you a little bit, doesn't it? So, like, if you think about it, it's what you want from what you're doing. What do you want from the sport? Really, is the question. The next question. So, like, where do you see yourself? Because you're only 19. Like, where do you see yourself when, like, in a few years' time, like 23, 24-year-old? Where can you see what you're doing?
Where I want to see myself is on one championship. That's where I want to be. I want to fight the best. To be the best, you've got to fight the best. Really.
Yeah. So, well, basically that's it, isn't it? That's why you're taking these opportunities. That's probably why you accepted the fight without any question. The fight on Muay Thai Grand Prix, which is one of the feeder shows from the UK to One Championships. So if you say no to them, they stop asking, don't they? If you say yes, then, I mean, let's face it, no disrespect to your opponent, she was very strong, she was good, but you didn't get hurt in the fight. there was maybe arguably one maybe two knees that showed like big effect that visibly you looked like you were uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you look quite happy in there. So like I was saying earlier, I was talking to Levi. Like the girl who pulled out of that fight probably won't get the phone call next time. It'll be the one who jumped in, and that's you.
Yeah.
So, and at 19, for me, fighting at that in the O2 Arena in London is only going to do you. You're only going to benefit from it. You know what I mean? So, well done for taking the fight. It was class. Levi, how do you get on? Let me know how you get on.
I came away with a first round TKO referee stoppage. I felt really good. Felt the sharpest I've ever felt. Yeah, I felt amazing.
You enjoy it?
Yeah.
It was like, again, it wasn't last minute. You had more time to prepare for this one. But I think, well, a little bit unknown. Your opponent was a little bit unknown, but from a really good camp, wasn't he? Like the Whelan camp, he's fighting for a world title on the show.
Yeah.
So you know you're not going to be fighting a mug. All we did know was that he was southpaw.
Yeah.
How did it feel getting in with it? Because I think it might be your first southpaw.
That was my first southpaw fight. Yeah.
How did you find that?
I felt comfortable. My range I found my range straight away. Obviously, our game plan worked effective. I just felt comfortable in there. I felt where I belonged.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to you through the week. Me and fighting, there's always been this thin barrier of where I haven't been able to express myself.
Yeah.
And to do it on a show like Muay Thai Grand Prix, I feel like I've expressed myself to the whole country of what I'm capable of now.
Yeah, you got a chance to show what you can do. Because like your last fight on the home show, like the lad's shoulder dislocated and it was stopped before it started, wasn't it? You actually started that fight the same way as you started the one on Muay Thai Grand Prix. Just unfortunate that he got the injury, isn't it? But like, I agree with you. Like, I think you're just starting to show people what you can do. Obviously, I know it was only a minute and something in the fight. But that isn't taking anything away from your opponent. He was tough. You could see him. Look, his physicality. The way, I know he was only in there for a short time and you took him to bits, but the way he moved, he wasn't a mug. He wasn't an amateur. I know you were fighting amateur, but he's were moving like pros. And you can see that, you know. And his team believed in him, or they wouldn't have put him there. So well done. It was a quality fight.
Credit to him as well, because he's a really, really genuine person as well. Talking to him after the fight.
What did you say to him after the fight?
We're just having a discussion about the fight. And he was just a really genuine person. All credit to him. He gave credit to me back. It was just, you know, we can be friends now. Now that we've had, like, I had respect for him before the fight for even getting in the ring. I have even more respect now for him. Do you know what I mean?
For getting in.
Yeah.
You do. You get that bond, don't you, with the fighter? And now McKenna always buys them. What do you buy them after the fight?
Cheesy chip.
That's class. Well, you do. You get that bond. I still stay in touch with people I fought years ago in the black and white days. But you still, it's like, you can't really explain it. Like, you've got that bond with them. You've went in there, you've tried to nearly kill each other, but straight after you're giving each other hugs.
Exactly.
There's no animosity or nothing, is there? It's just respect. So, what's your goals? Where do you want to be, and what's your dream?
In the coming years, my end goal is one championship. I fight the best of the best in the world. Kickboxing wise, I want to be future world champion. You know, I want to take over the world. I want to fly all over the world and, you know, like, beat the best of the best, fight the best of the best. You know, it's gonna be a slow road. You know, like, you've got to take everything slow, but eventually my dream goal is to do that.
Yeah, because you're 18, aren't you? You're only 18, so you just basically, you're fighting at amateur level, although you've trained a lot longer than McKenna, because probably female fights are harder to come by. McKenna's kind of like you've almost been rushed into it, haven't you?
Yeah.
You had an amateur junior career. How many fights?
Well, amateur.
Yeah, no, junior, like
Junior,
under
12.
18. So 12 and under 18 amateur fights, and then you basically now you've only had 4 fights as an adult, and you're already fighting B class and pro K1. So it's hard for you really.
Yeah.
I feel for. How do you feel about that? I know is it just one of those things, or do you feel like you're okay with that, or
No,
what?
I feel okay. Like, since I've started here, I've always wanted to take shillings off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never felt such like enjoyment of a pain in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Aye.
I love it. Like, I love fighting pro K1.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Alright, good. Well, I mean, you belong there. I think that's the main thing. You can see that with what you're doing with your opponents. You're manhandling them, all right, and then obviously the results will come. And I think that's another thing I want to touch on with both of you as your coach, is like explaining that results are. I know losing's hard, right? It is difficult, but everyone loses in this sport, right? It's how you deal with it, isn't it? I mean, I've just got a couple of names here. Petrosian,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. This is what I'm trying to get at, right? Petrosian lost by knockout, highlight reel knockout to Superbon. Do you honestly think his career's over? No. He got a broken jaw,
Mm-hmm.
but he's definitely going to get a phone call from one championship again,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Typhon Oskan,
Mm-hmm.
he lost to Sidichai.
Yeah.
I know he's your mentor.
Yeah.
You speak to him.
Uh-huh.
But then came back and beat Enrico Kale.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's back on top again, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I'm trying to say is you've got to take the rough with the smooth, learn, keep going, and when you get to a level, I honestly don't believe people are bothered about wins or losses. You're at a level where you're going to get those fight opportunities, and if you get a little bit of a run, and then you start looking at title fights and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But where you are now, like you've just said, Levi, not rushing it
Mm-hmm.
is probably the best advice. Is
Mm-hmm.
just enjoy where you are now, and keep learning.
Yeah.
So the best way to do that's staying active, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how often would you like to fight? What's ideally? I asked McKenna.
To be fair, if I had the chance, I would fight every weekend. I literally would. But I like to stay active. So
Yeah.
like probably twice a month or something. Maybe
Would you?
Every month.
It's a lot. It is a lot. But like you say, if you're fit and healthy and you're injury free, then you want to be fighting.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not taking big shots to the head. Like the weekend, you didn't take a heavy shot.
No.
Neither did you. So for me, you're ready to go again.
Mm-hmm.
You know. The only thing you hurt your ankle, didn't you? Explain what happened with that.
So the fight that I had Saturday gone, how it happened was I threw a leg kick
Mm-hmm.
and it hit my elbow and it just went after that. But when you're in a fight, you can't just stop using something because they're gonna suss it out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's so there, so it's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a threat anymore.
Yeah, so it's like I had to just keep kicking with it. And obviously after
keep
the
going.
fight, I just had to ice it.
Ace is your new best friend.
Ice is my new best friend.
Alright, but I mean, Levi, you weren't fighting for a very long way, but did he get any injuries?
No,
Nothing?
no.
No, you're good. So, and that Typhon Oskan's your idol. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is that, do you base your style on him or what?
Yeah.
How to explain
Yeah.
that? How's your inspiration?
So, everything he does really, I'm inspired by him. His work ethic, you see, you know, all over social media. He's training every day, twice a day, 3 times a day.
Aye.
I try and base myself off that because nothing comes easy. You know, you've got to put in the grit. You've got to put in the.
He put a post out just last couple of days ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was it yesterday? Might have been
Might
yesterday.
have been yesterday. Yeah.
Aye, I think that was good. So it's basically what you're saying there. So
his fight style's entertaining to watch. You know, he always goes for the knockout. He's not point scoring. You know, if he lands, he'll land again, and then if he lands then he'll add on to that, and then add on and add on.
Yeah.
He always looks for the finish. So I try and base my style off that because I feel that's the most resembling to me as well as a fighter.
Yeah. He's physically similar to you as well. He's lean and he's fast.
Yeah.
He's really fast. He likes to use the left side, left kick, left hand. So yeah, you can see that it's obvious who you've been looking at, and you've put your own spin on it as well.
Yeah.
McKenna, Janet Todd. Yeah, she's your mentor as well. You speak to her, don't you?
Yeah.
So what's your relationship with her like? How do you? Because you used to. I remember you being on Skype with her and stuff like that. Do you want to talk about that?
When she's in the ring, she's an animal.
Yeah.
When she's not, she's the most kindest person you've ever met. Like she was giving us some drills, what she was learning over in her like country. She was showing us like good strength work to help us build muscle a bit as well.
Yeah.
And she was telling us like our experience on one championship, like how she like was so buzzing that she won the belt over Stan Fairtex, like one of the best pound for pound fight I would say.
Yeah.
But I would like to see her back in the ring. To be fair, like if we maybe one day I could be fighting Janet, do you know what I mean? But
yeah, you'd have to put your friendship aside.
I have to.
But it's a shame for Stan if you think of it on the other side.
Yeah.
Like Stan lost to Janet, and then she's not had much luck. She lost that MMA fight as well, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she's only young as well, you know. I don't know what age. I'll have to check. But
she's 23.
yeah, she's still young, you know. And she was really like when I seen the footage of her leaving the cage or the ring, she was crying. You know, it affected her. So she's probably. It just shows you that even at the highest level, they're dealing with the same things you are when you lose. But she'll regroup, you know. The ties are resilient on her, and the kind of, I know she wanted it, but at the end of the day, she'll come back stronger. It's the same as yours. How supportive of your family? Like, you know, let me know about how, because you won, and your parents would have been so far away. It was they couldn't get time off work and things like that to come down. But I know the live stream.
Yeah,
how does your parents support you with the fighting?
The biggest supporters by far.
Yeah.
Especially my mom, who got us into kickboxing. She's always been my number one fan. She tries to make every fight she can. She was good about the one just gone. You know, we had a conversation, and she was crying. She was really good that she couldn't make it. But there's going to be times where, when I do live that dream where I'm fighting all over the world, so she's not going to make every single one.
No, sometimes you're gonna, even I think as well, like you were saying, being active means you're gonna fight a lot.
Yeah.
And being ready, you're gonna fight a lot. And unfortunately, your parents and family aren't gonna get every fight.
Yeah.
But you know they've got your back. So that's a massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
About I know your family, McKenna. You've got your mum and your sisters. You got how many sisters?
4.
4 sisters.
Yeah.
So just explain your support network at home.
They're the best supporters I've ever had. At the cheek that I give them, I'm surprised they're like, haven't punched us all over yet.
What's that with, like cutting weight and
like the last fight, I kind of thanked them enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, my mum was helping us with my meal preps. Like, she was helping us like staying calm and like chilled, like not stressing. Like she's like my mum. She's like one of the best supporters I've ever had.
She'll always have you back, won't she?
Like she'll try like make every fight, but like Levi says, sometimes your parents kind of make them when you're going all the way across the country. Do you know what I mean? My sisters, they're amazing with us. Like they look after the shop for us when I'm not there.
Yeah.
So does my mum.
Yeah.
They help us out with a lot.
I know these are quite close. A lot of yous.
Yeah.
You see that, like at the shows, you know, like they're standing up at the front and they're like they're almost shadowboxing on there, throwing punches with you, screaming.
Or one of them's in the ring with you.
And your mum shouting, "Come on, McKenna!"
Yeah, here, like.
It's brilliant though, you know, like sometimes, you know, like when you're in that ring and you're looking for something, it's hard, isn't it? Sometimes, you know, when you're up against it and you may hear that and you go, right, oh, that's what I need, you know. It does. I mean, people don't realise how much support you need because you're on a team, but when you get in the ring, you're by yourself. You know, you've got your coach, you got me, you got your corner, but you need the support. Yeah, it means a lot. So, that's where I'm getting on to now, like your team. So, are you happy with your team and like who's influential in the gym for you? And when you're training, who do you look up to the most and things like that within the gym? We'll go with Levi on that.
Everybody in the gyms are proper help to me. I don't really have, you know, there's no groups, there's nobody in particular helps me. It's a team thing. Everybody helps me equally.
Yeah.
They all play the part. If one's getting ready for a fight, everybody gets ready for a fight.
Yeah.
When we're doing these Dutch drills, it's not just use lot over there doing it, and then you can do this. Everybody's doing it together.
Yeah.
It's a team thing.
I think that works well in the gym. I've trained in lots of gyms, and when I opened my own gym, I thought it's always best to have everyone working together.
Yeah.
So you've got your like guy who's just coming along to lose weight, or it's his hobby. He's training just as hard as the pro fighter.
Yeah.
And training with them as well.
Yeah.
You know, they might be doing the drills together, pushing each other. I think that's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes them feel good.
Yeah.
But it also helps you as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need people in the gym. You're only as good as your training partner sometimes as well.
Yeah.
But what about you, McKenna? Do you look up to anyone, or is anyone you need, like who you? Because we've got girls. Well, lucky we've got girls in the gym. It's a male dominant sport, but we've got some girls you can train with, haven't you?
Yeah. I look up to everyone in training. Like when I first started, I was scared. Like I was like, crap, these are like proper like going for it. But I train with 3 or 4 girls, isn't there?
We've got Kelsey, Sandra, Rebecca, Holly, you, Grace.
Like I can't, like they've helped me as well with this fight, like the fight camp gone. Like Rebecca keeps me like all of them keep us calm. Like half of them are laughing at us because I'm always angry. They're always laughing at us, but like it's nice to have girls to train with as well. Yeah,
that's it.
So I'm like not the only one.
Yeah, I mean it's still a tough sport, and you've got to suck it up and get on. But these are girls, and you help each other with that.
Yeah.
In a tough sport, which I think is brilliant because you all stick together. Like you say though, Levi, there isn't any cliques or anything, is there? There's everyone helps each other. Even I know your training partner at the minute is Rebecca, and that's basically because he's both like super fast. You know, it's like you need fast pads, you need fast footwork, so it's like your skill levels are like complement each other. So that you know that works as well. So it's always good to see us working together, mixing it up as well. So I can see you both if you put the graft in, right? And I think that's massive. Right? You've both got talent, right? But I've seen talent a million times. but the work ethic that you've got is second to none. You hit every class, you hit every session, you do the stuff outside the gym as well, your road work, your sprints, your conditioning work. You're in here in the morning when you can, if you haven't got university or work. So that's the recipe really, is like you've got the skills, but you've also got the hard work. Is there any, like, we've got a lot of hard workers in the gym. Is there anyone like you've kind of like copied the formula, like, or is it just something that like you've brought about yourself? Because I know you're grafters, but is that just what you've seen in the gym, or is it just where do you get that from?
It's a bit of both, really. You know, you see people in the gym all the time, doing it day out, and you think, I want to be like them.
Yeah.
You know, and then you push yourselves even more. They say that, and then they push themselves even more, so it becomes a contest.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you work harder, because it's I know he's our training partners, everything, but it's who's going to be, you know, everybody wants the edge on everybody.
Of course.
So it makes you work harder, and then you become a better fighter, you become a better training partner, you become a better person.
Yeah.
So you can hit the pads better, you can hit drills harder, you can do all this sort of stuff, and you end up fighting better as well.
That's it. It is. I mean, we've got a lot of guys that are in the gym a lot. You've got like Kyle. You got John, who's back in training now. You know, we've got a lot of Rebecca's always in the gym. I'm talking about the pros here. Even Pete Heimers is a grafter. Yeah. He's in every day. So you've got people there who, when you were kids, were doing what you're doing now. You know what I mean? Like, you look up to them. You're doing that now for not just the youngins, right? You're doing it for the older ones as well. Believe it or not, I know you are just starting out in the sport, right? But I think a lot of the pros look up to you. You know what I mean? Like, your work ethic, because you're keeping them on their toes. Look at Joe. Joe's like been with the gym now over a year, and he's like he's smashing it, isn't he? But he didn't like he wasn't in a gym. His gym closed, so he didn't have a lot of direction. And when he's come in, he's doing what you used to do. But you look up to him, and he looks up to you. So I think it's great, mate.
It is, yeah.
You know, like someone fighting at the pro level, you know, British champion at KGP, and he's like, you could see that when he was in the corners. You know, he was like, he was buzzing for your win, wasn't he? Because he's doing it with you. Yeah. So with success comes what? Hear it. Yeah, you get to hear that, don't you? Alright, so when you're good at something, like, everyone loves the underdog, don't they? How do you feel about that? Because I know you're young, you're new, but you've had a little bit of this, McKenna, haven't you? Right? I'll speak to McKenna about this. So how do you feel about it? Or do you just try and ignore it, or what do you do? What's your view on success?
I just ignore the hatred people, do you know what I mean?
The haters.
Yeah. Shouldn't let people like that bother you, do you know what I mean? Like, if people are going to bother you like that, it's just going to bring you down.
Yeah.
Where you want to be like, leave them to one side.
Positive, I suppose.
Just think positive, and it's not nice. It's horrible. Like, why do that to someone?
Yeah, I think with you is the reason you got a little bit of hate 3 or 4 fights ago, and it was because, and it's honestly because you were decent, right? And they expected to get a walkover win, and you put up a fight, and then all of a sudden it's like, is that record real? Is this real, and stuff like that? So they look for a hole from, you know what I mean? But you're gonna get that your whole career. If you think about it, right? There's always gonna be someone who sees a negative in everything. So you need to be prepared for that. You're 19, you're 18. So you've got to, at this minute, how are you gonna deal with it? You know what I mean? What do you think about it, Levi? Everyone loves you, but what I'm saying is you've got to toughen yourself up for this. So how do you feel about that?
It's just a case of adding fuel to the fire. In my view, like I keep everybody from the gym close, my family close, my close friends close. You know, they're the ones supporting me, but you never really know who is supporting you and who's just saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But whoever is hating on you, type of thing, it just adds fuel to the fire. It makes you want to drive more to prove them wrong, type of thing.
Yeah.
And you can look back at that years down the line and think, look where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you thought I was going to be like this person, but now I'm this person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it as well. And like social media is a pretty cruel world, isn't it? Like it doesn't. And I think if you react to it, if you like react on a comment or whatever, then you're falling straight into that trap.
Yeah.
That's what they want, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like Joe Rogan's massive on this. He'll drop in content, but he never comments and he never reads the comments.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't hurt him.
Yeah.
So whatever happens, because it's all like you're young, everyone loves you because these are underdogs, right? In the sport where it's the world more experienced, you know what I mean? You're fighting in the pro leagues now, B class Thai and Pro K1. Everyone's kind of like been there a little while. You're the underdog at the minute. So, but when you get on top, that's when they want to see you lose.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the game, and how you deal with that can be difficult. So I think my advice to you would be just ignore it. You know what I mean? Just don't even read it, the bad stuff. You don't need to say it. Don't look. But when you're young at this age, you find yourself looking through stuff, don't you? You have a look, and but never mind. So they'll get found out at the end of the day. You just keep fighting and performing well, and that'll all come out in the wash. You'll be fine. Self-promotion. How do you feel about like promoting yourself? Because I think this is something else. This is where we're lacking. I know you both like have your social media, but how do you feel about like social media and promoting yourself? We'll go with McKenna first. So. Do you think it's important?
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
It just shows, like, if you don't promote yourself, just you aren't like, how do I put, like, you aren't telling your fans what's
going on.
Yeah. Like, if you don't promote, you've got to fight. How are you gonna sell tickets? Do you know what I mean? So you've got to like do that to sell tickets, and obviously to get more fans.
But this is it. Like your fighting style's got to be important as well. So, like I believe, you've both got exciting styles. You're super aggressive, McKenna. You're a boxing style. You like to get in and you try and knock them out. It's as simple as that. Levi, very similar, like with his hand speed, but he mixes it up with his kicks, his long limbs, and he looks for the high kick, and he's just, that is engaging, yeah. But the other side of things is people need to know who you are. This is pretty much why we're doing these chats now. That's why we're doing it, so people get to know you. So I can see where it needs to be, and I think you need to as well. So social media, I know it's like you don't want to come across big-headed, but you do need to like kind of get yourselves out there a little bit. Even if it's just dropping something in every now and again, you know what I mean? How do you feel about that, Levi? Because I know you don't put a lot on it all day.
Not really. I kind of like to keep everything close to me type of thing, and like not really hide anything, but kind of like do behind closed doors, which is probably not the best way to go about it, because obviously you need to put yourself out there for promotions and promoters to see who you are and what you're capable of type of thing. It's really important. Like I'll put the odd thing out here and there. I should really do it more, to be fair, to express myself and show people like not just like you said, my fight style and everything like that, but just who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Because that's what the public and everybody care. Like, that's what they like about you.
But
They like the person that you are.
But that's it. The good thing about the people who follow you, that's what they're doing. They're following you.
Yeah.
And like, you are young, so they're engaging in sometimes without even meeting you. They're building a relationship with you. They might never speak to you ever, but they're getting the stories. They're seeing what you're doing. They're looking at your fight career, things like what we're doing now, talking to you. They'll engage in that, and they want to see you grow.
Yeah,
it's like in 3-4 years time, I used to watch that. I used to see him training, and I used to see her. She had that fight. She took that fight last week. Remember things like that. So it's like it's engaging with people early and getting them interested in your life, the good and the bad. Yeah. So there'll be good times where you're winning, like Levi. Be the times where like you lose a fight and they'll commiserate with you. I mean, I was talking to Rolly, who does all our media at the gym, all the photographs and everything. I was talking to him about that photograph that he got of you in the corner of the ring, actually where you're sitting now. Like the day, 2 days after you'd fought, and that one picture got more interest on social media than all of the action shots.
Yeah.
And that's because they could feel for you. Like you lost your fight, you're back in the gym, championship mentality, getting back in, but people engage in that stuff. So I think, to be fair, it's something you both need to like do a little bit more. If I'm not saying ram it down people's necks, right? Because no one wants that.
Yeah.
But you want to like kind of get people a bit more invested in you, which gets onto the next thing is sponsorship. So, how do you feel about sponsorship? You're quite good with sponsorship, McKenna, aren't you? Yeah. So how do you feel about that? How do you, where's that with you?
It's going good. I've got quite a lot of sponsors, but the sponsors where I need for training wise, recovery or
like massage and sunbeds.
Sunbeds are important too. No, but it's they've helped with my travels as well, going down to London, helping with the travel and
costs and things.
Yeah. That support as well.
Yeah, a lot of them come to see watch, don't they? Yeah.
Even some even if I can't come watch, they'll buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And some will share me posts for us.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? But you and Levi, you don't have as much sponsorship, but you starting out, you're amateur. You've got a couple though, haven't you?
A couple, yeah.
All right. And I suppose where I'm going with this is because I'm your coach, I'm trying to keep you this is more of a mentor session as well as just a chat. Is stay loyal to them. You know, they don't have to do what they're doing for you. So don't forget about them. Make sure that you're plugging their businesses and give them shout outs regularly, even if you're not fighting, because it's not about just the fight. That's when the attention comes to you when you've got a fight before and after. But in general, you should be give them a shout out if they're looking after you, and that'll encourage sponsors. Yeah. And be choice with your sponsors as well. You don't want to just say yes to everyone. You want to it's got to be a sponsorship that's right for you as well as that. So make sure that it's a two-way thing. You know what I mean? They're going to help you with your career, but you're going to help them with their business. Which is massive. So right, we'll finish off. I'll just what's next for you two? What would you like next? Because we've talked about your long-term dreams and aspirations. What about where over the next year or so, or what do you just want to be doing? Go with Levi. What we're gonna
hopefully progress into semi-pro, say professional. I want to keep on climbing the rankings, keep on getting my name out there. It's early doors is what it is so far. So. Yeah, I said there's no rush, but I want to do it. I want people to know who I am sooner rather than later while I'm like fired up and while I'm feeling good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that fight there, like, made a statement for you at a young age. It can have a plus and a negative thing. Like at amateur, like you just said, you're probably gonna have to look at taking the shinies off and fighting semi-pro because I don't know if there's any amateurs out there that's gonna want to fight you after that. But keeping you active is gonna be difficult. You might have to go into semi-pro. But you'll enjoy yourself there as well. What about you, McKenna? Like short term, what we're looking at?
Definitely look for the top 5 rankings in my weight category. To fight, like obviously start from number 5 all the way to number 1.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping next year is to probably start fighting at 50, 52.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Drop down
A little bit.
Alright. I think you've just getting a nutritionalist, haven't you, as well? So that'll help massively. Just getting, you're both young and growing still. It's difficult to. It's probably the hardest part. Really, is like knowing where your body's going to end up, and not. You don't need to be doing cuts. You just need to be like looking after your body, training enjoying your training. Because I think, like, you know, when it comes to the last week of your fight camp and your fight's on Saturday and it's Monday, sometimes when you're pro, all they're thinking about, they're talking about is their weight, aren't they? And like, yous haven't really had that problem. Yous are just literally just like eating less. Sorry, not eating less, portions less on the last week. You're still eating your four meals a day, but you're just cutting your portions down a little bit and controlling your water, but you never really like have to do anything drastic like in the pros. So if you get your nutrition right and then you get down to a nice comfortable way for training, I think you're both gonna fight strong. You know what I mean? And fighting strong is important. And then when you eventually, I mean, McKenna's different, she's fighting pro, but when you've got more time, like a decent camp, not like 4 days, you got a decent camp, you can afford to come down and weight a little bit naturally. And then Levi, you're kind of fighting amateur. You don't know if it's going to be same day weigh-in or day before weigh-in, so you kind of, your weight division's bigger. You're probably from 65 up to 67, 68 maybe. So, but it's all good. Just keep learning and enjoying it. You're doing great. So what before we finish, I just want to know what inspires you most. Like, I'm not on about fighters. Like, what's your drive? I know he's on about fighting at the highest level, but we're not. That's more like a dream. We've got to take it step by step. What's your drive every day? You know, when you get up in the morning, what do you think about to get yourselves to the gym?
Being a role model. I wanna be a role model for not just fighters, like everybody. I wanna be that kid from Blythe that everybody knows of locally for being that lad that just went to the gym every morning, went to the gym every night, slept, done the same thing every day. Do you know what I mean? I want to be that person that everybody knows of locally. I want to be like a local hero type of thing.
Nah, that's good. I like that. Didn't copy him. Same as him. What about you?
I just want to prove people that if you can do it, you can do it. Like, you get out of bed, do your run in the morning, or come down and train, and put the graft in for what, 8 weeks for fight, maybe more. To prove to people that it does work. Yeah, even if it's not fighting, like if you want to lose weight, like it's going to prove to people that if you do that in the morning and put the graft in as well. Yeah,
be an inspiration to people. Yeah, I think to see that as well. You know, it's not unnoticed at all. Like they can see the graft you put. Like I know you don't put a lot on Instagram and social media, Levi, but like the seeing the graft. I do it for you, don't I? At the gym, I'm putting it on. I've got to promote my gym. and use are my best way of
Mhm.
promotion. Like Levi's from the same street as me as a kid, right? So it's like me, you, and John were brought up in the same street, like round the corner from each other, and there's nothing there, is
No,
there?
no.
Like I was Lindsay, you are Temple, and John's on Walton Avenue, and there's literally like it's a look. The people are great, but there's not a lot there, and I think used to showing other kids from that area, like, look, come along and do this, and you can fight at the O2 Arena in London, or even just be a different person. I think that's massive. It's great that you're doing that, and I think you're already doing what you're saying you want to do. You're a local hero, and you're just a kid, you know. And same as you, McKenna, from Coop Farm. You know what I mean? It's just up the road from where you live, and like you say, you don't get many famous people. I'm not saying these are famous, but success stories. You don't get a lot of success stories from those areas, and you are doing that. You know, so hats off to you. Take my hat off. But well done. We'll leave it there. So we'll catch up next time. We'll do the same thing again. We'll see where you are, and we'll get another catch up talk, match chat.
Yeah.
All right. Well done.
Great. Thank you.